Nigeria will continue to reward excellence, says President Buhari, as it confers highest and most prestigious award to deserving Nigerians.
Please endeavor at all times to serve as beacons of hope and aspirations for the younger generation of Nigerians.
4 vessels of adulterated fuel intercepted. No cause for alarm, authority assures.
Further commercial and appropriate actions shall be taken by the authority as well as the NMPC.
Plus, stop creation of new parastatals and agencies. Committees on rationalization advise FG. Good evening. This is NTA Network News, and we're reaching you live from Abuja. I'm Ian Ray John. Adiola Komi is in our Lagos studio, while Suleiman Rikachuku joins us from Kaduna. Thank you for joining us. And just so you know, you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live, on our YouTube channel, NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page, NTA Network News. Our Twitter handle is NTA News Now, and Instagram is NTA Network for updates. Let's begin. President Muhammadu Buhari says Nigeria is keen on fostering excellence across board and will continue to celebrate those who contributed their quota to the arduous task of getting her on the top bracket of outstanding nations. This was at the conferment of the 2020 and 2021 Nigeria National Order of Merit Awards to deserving citizens of the country. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
The award recipients for 2020 are Professor Oluyinka Olurotimi Olutoye, a world-renowned fetal and pediatric surgeon represented here by his father, Oba Olufemi Rotimi, the Alani of Edoani Kingdom, and the late Professor Charles Ejike Chidume, a globally renowned professor of mathematics represented by his son, Dr. Okechukwu Chidume. And the awardee for 2021 is Professor Godwin Samuel Ehabwere, a world-renowned professor of mathematical physics with research interests and activities in non-commutative stochastic analysis, tropical partial algebras, and financial mathematics. The Nigerian National Order of Merit is the highest and most prestigious award bestowed by the country on its citizens for creative, intellectual, and academic contributions that have national and global significance.
I am proud to welcome the new laureates to this prestigious League of Citizens. You are not just a national treasure. You are now important milestones in the history of Nigeria's upward path.
Let me also use this opportunity to call on Nigerian universities, both public and private, to rise up to the challenge and continue to lead in innovative research targeted at providing solutions to the many problems affecting the country, especially post-COVID-19 era.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who congratulated the award recipients, assured them that the nation will continue to celebrate and hold up their achievements as a shining example worthy of emulation by upcoming young men and women in the country.
Please endeavor at all times to serve as beacons of hope and aspirations for the younger generation of Nigerians, reminding them that our survival and collective future as a nation ultimately rests on our being active participants in global developmental efforts, especially in science and technology.
The President appreciated the governing board of the Nigerian National Order of Merit Award for making transparency and love for the nation as the hallmark of their stewardship, saying the good work must be sustained.
The Nigerian National Order of Merit Award is one of the enduring national legacies that are held in high regard. I wish to assure you that this administration is fully committed to giving the recognition that it deserves by immortalizing its recipients who have taken this country to greater heights, both in Nigeria and in diaspora.
And on behalf of the award recipients, Professor Godwin Ehagbuere thanks the federal government for finding them worthy of recognition after what he described as diligent, thorough, objective, and rigorous selection process.
This is bound to inspire many persons around the world who regard us as their mentors, while potentially fostering increased interest in science and medicine in Nigeria, and also the groundbreaking applications of these subjects to national development.
Established 43 years ago, the Nigerian National Order of Merit Award recipients have now increased to 79. Each one of them adjudged to have epitomized the fineness of Nigeria's capacity for innovation and creativity. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
And away from the State House now, a large quantity of adulterated fuel has been intercepted by the Nigerian Mid and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority and product tracing exercise ongoing in filling stations. Authority Chief Executive, Nigerian Mid and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Farouk Ahmed, relates the current fuel situation in the country to this development. Mia Ogidi brings us details.
Methanol, an essential component in petrol, but when it is beyond the specification in the product, harmful to the car. 4 vessels laden with petrol shipped into Nigeria, some of its content already in circulation. Unfortunately, this product has methanol which is outside official specification of Nigeria's petrol. Mid and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority goes for product tracing.
The limited quantity of the impacted products has been isolated and withdrawn from the market, including those loaded in trucks. The source supplier has been identified, and further commercial and appropriate actions shall be taken by the authority as well as the NNPC.
Motorists in Lagos and the Federal Capital Territory groaning. The queues getting longer, so the pain also extended. Situation not unconnected with the adulterated fuel issue at hand.
Talk about shortage in the system, but it wasn't really such a. What happened is we tried to, when we got the information, when we detected this information, we tried to slow down and isolate the tank. So all those volume that was supposed to be coming up to the northern part or other parts of the southern midwestern part of the country were actually stopped, isolated, because we wanted to investigate, identify, and isolate the affected volumes before it went into the market. So maybe that's what caused a small gap, which is manifesting now.
About 4 filling stations. They no join NNPC or Wando. All of them just stop once that they are not selling for again.
From the authorities to the motorist, just bear with us. It's for everyone's good. Mia Ogidi, NT News.
Now talking security, Senate is making efforts to provide legal framework for a comprehensive system of firearms control and to provide for matters connected therewith. National Assembly correspondent Dayo Ogunshola reports that the bill intends to regulate movement of arms and ammunition, among other things.
3 bills passed second reading at the plenary, including a bill seeking to provide a holistic control of firearms in the country.
Enable the federal government to remove illegally possessed firearms from the society, to control the supply, possession, transfer, and use of firearms, and to detect and punish the negligent or use of firearms.
We should also try to ensure that that bill focuses a bit on local manufacture of firearms.
Establish a comprehensive system of firearms control and to provide for matters connected there with 2022 second reading taking. And the bill is referred to the Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters to report back within 4 weeks.
Bill for an act to establish the Federal Polytechnic Orogun Delta State was passed through the committee of the earlier version to address some fundamental issues, as well as a bill for legal education consolidation. President of the Senate at plenary announced the PDP's nomination of Senator Shaibu Issa Lau from Taraba North as the deputy minority leader of the Senate.
which we so communicate to you. We believe Senator Law will be an asset to the leadership of the Senate. Thank you, and do accept the assurances of our highest regards.
This day, I announce henceforth my exit from the People's Democratic Party to join the governing party because of visible presence of the party in my senatorial district.
Senate at plenary confirmed Professor Ayo Omotayo as the Director General, National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, Kuru, Jos. Meanwhile, President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, played host to executive secretaries of supervisory bodies of the nation's higher institutions to address issues bordering on high in tuition fees across the country. The meeting later went into executive session. From the National Assembly, Dayo Ogunshola, NTA News.
And away from the red chambers now, strategic leadership is critical for the fight against insecurity and development in Nigeria. Niger State Governor Abubakar Sani Bello made the assertion in a lecture delivered at the National Defense College, Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
These are participants of Course 30 of the National Defense College, drawn from the military, paramilitary and other security agencies.
The participants will read the course and come up with position papers on how to address some of these challenges.
With security threats in parts of Sokoto, Kaduna and Niger states, Governor Abubakar Sani Bello in a lecture stressed on the responsibility of state governors to effectively support security agencies with information and logistics to boost their morale and their internal security operations across the country. The lecture also helps on the roles and importance of coordinated non-state actors in stemming crime from the root and effective mobilization of village heads and traditional rulers in tracing and tracking criminality.
The only solution is to apply technology to control our borders. We need to tighten our border patrol to reduce influx of light arms and heavy arms into the country. There is need for more understanding between political heads and military hierarchy.
There are 102 participants in the 11-month course. From the National Defense College in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Meanwhile, interagency collaboration is a pathway to achieving effective delivery of security services. To attain this standard, the Police Affairs Ministry is engaging different security agencies on their roles. Francis Fom reports.
Reducing interagency rivalry amongst security agencies to the barest and enhancing maximum cooperation is the thrust of this meeting organized by the Ministry of Police Affairs.
It's about collaboration to achieve an objective, not competition, interagency competition. It is not about superiority of individuals between and among security agencies and security personnel.
Resolving the issues of conflicts, conscious actions and inactions of personnel to accord respect and observe team spirit among personnel of sister agencies, as well as enlightening personnel on their responsibilities were also discussed.
You must know your duties, you must know your responsibilities, you must know the overlaps and how you relate and integrate synergy with other agencies. So that's it. Education, education, education. If you don't know, you can't deliver. And there will continue to be crises as long as individuals don't train, individuals remain ignorant.
The ministry is stepping up its strategic role to sustain the game's recorded. Francis from NTA News.
Elsewhere, Nigeria is developing a national roadmap for the management of response to criminal or unauthorized acts contravening regulatory control. Director General, Nigerian Nuclear Regulatory Authority, Yao Idris, said this at a workshop for the management of atomic energy. Adebola Brookslyn reports.
The years, nuclear and other radioactive materials have increasingly become preferred tools in the hand of criminals and terrorists for creating threats to global security. In its bid to tackle nuclear terrorism, the International Atomic Energy Agency is helping policymakers and experts worldwide to improve nuclear security and manage radioactive sources.
We will together review the identified capability gaps, prioritize them, and agree on a nuclear security response roadmap in which gaps will be addressed and the national response capacity will be enhanced.
As Nigeria is developing a national nuclear security detection architecture, the Director General insists the response component cannot be overlooked.
This caused the need to develop national capabilities to respond to criminal and unauthorized acts involving nuclear and radioactive materials.
The framework will establish a mechanism to coordinate the various activities undertaken by several competent authorities during the response to a nuclear security event.
Workshop which seeks to drive a systemic recovery of materials considered as out of regulatory control is one of the expected outcomes of the 5-day convergence. Adebola Brookslyn, NTA News.
And just a quick reminder that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website, nta.nj/live, on our YouTube channel, NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page, NTA Network News. Our Twitter handle is at NTA News Now, and Instagram is NTA Network for updates. Time for a quick break. Please stay. Thank you for staying. Nigeria is now in the 22nd unbroken year as a democracy, with series of peaceful transitions to power. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says the right of electorate is central to democracy and that it must be protected by electoral laws and judicial interpretation in electoral cases. The Vice President spoke at the 53rd Conference of the National Association of Law Teachers with the theme, Law, Democracy and the Electoral Process. State House correspondent Didioni Fadi brings us details.
Democracy and social justice are vital structures required for nation building, says Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, stating that this is the more reason why legal profession must maintain its integrity and ethos, as it is one of the pivots upon which civilization rests.
Courts are reinforced by scholarship. It is scholarship that reinforces and helps our courts to clarify their own thoughts and clarify their own reasoning. Where there is no alternative view coming from anywhere, where scholarship is silent, then we cannot blame the direction in which our legal institution is going.
Reflecting on the nation's journey into civil rule, the Vice President says the people have witnessed electoral contests in which mere membership of the ruling party is not a guarantee of victory, stating that these are signs of growth as a democracy, but which he says still has room for improvement. After attending the conference, the Vice President, accompanied by Governor Abdullahi Ganduje and some members of the National Assembly, visits the parent of Anifa Abubakar, the kidnapped and murdered Kano pupil.
And God doesn't make mistakes. Whatever God does, we accept in good faith.
In an emotion-laden voice, father of the girl, Abubakar Abdul Salam, shows gratitude for the visit.
I'm grateful. I'm sincerely honored. The only thing I would say is to pray for him, to pray for the entire nation, so that peace will reign.
The Vice President consoled and prayed for the family and the people of the state. In Kano, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government has been asked to put a hold on the creation of new parastatals, agencies and commissions to reduce costs of governance in the country. This forms part of recommendations of the reports of 2 review committees on restructuring and rationalization of federal government parastatals, agencies and commissions, submitted to the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa in Abuja. Vitari Ikme reports.
It's almost 10 years after the Orosaye panel recommended a reduction of federal agencies with overlapping functions from 263 to 161 to cut the cost of governance. 2 review committees set up last year have come up with their reports and a white paper.
Placing a moratorium on the creation of new federal parastatals, agencies and commission. B, to direct the National Salaries, Income and Wages Commission to adhere strictly to the act establishing it and henceforth desist from approving salaries. And C, strict adherence by political office holders to the terms of their engagement, especially in relation to the appointment of aides.
The growth and personnel cost of some of the agencies were in the period when there was still embargo for employment. So those areas we've also said one or two words there. The government certainly needs to look into those areas as to what was responsible for such.
SGF boss Mustafa thanked members of both committees comprising former heads of service of the Federation for a thorough job, reiterating the federal government's determination to reduce personnel cost and wasteful spending in the public service.
As a matter of fact, the recent approval of increased duty to our allowances makes it more compelling for the federal government to take urgent steps in cutting down on costs of governance as a result of recurrent expenditure.
Government is of the opinion that now is the right time to cut down on the cost of governance. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
The House of Representatives is working on a legislation to facilitate the establishment of a Center for Vaccine Research and Development in Nigeria. National Assembly correspondent Lamiale reports that the bill to that effect passed second reading during Tuesday plenary.
The establishment of the Nigeria Center for Vaccine Research and Development, the lawmakers noted, is in conformity with what obtains in other countries where a Center for Disease Control and Center for Vaccine Research and Development exist side by side.
I believe it will offer Nigerians and Nigeria a very special opportunity where vaccine can be studied in a research center in relation to our peculiarities. There are some vaccines that you acquire from Western world, you take it for 2 years, you will never have typhoid. Our people need to do that. Even on issue of malaria,
reinforce the Nigerian Institute of Veterinary Research involved in JOS so that they can be able to carry out their mandate.
The manufacturing is the end point. We have to research first to develop our own vaccine and to save a lot of billions we are spending.
The bill seeks to enhance research on infections that pose a risk to public health. Other bills passed at second reading include the Constitution Amendment Bill to review education qualification for certain elective positions and the bill sponsored by Representative Ahmed Jah Babao seeking establishment of Federal University of Agricultural Technology in Damboa, Borno State, just as the bill to establish Federal Polytechnic Koko Delta State from Representative Thomas Ireitomi was considered. Among resolutions adopted is the call from Morena Ajibola on the need to rehabilitate the Ido-Igongon Road in Oyo State and the motion from Abdullahi Halims urging investigation into accidents involving trucks belonging to Dangote Industries in Ankpa, which resulted in casualties.
It is one of the major highways in the country, which connects the southwest with northwest and north central, as well as links Nigeria to the Federal Republic of Benin.
Call on the Federal Road Safety Corps to intervene and ensure road safety compliance by Dangote Industries Limited.
The motion from Chukwu Kaungima appealing for assistance to victims of a fire from a failed truck along Onisha Owerri Road was also adopted. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
And away from the Green Chambers now, China is hoping that health authorities in Nigeria would approve the full integration of herbal medicines into modern practice. Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, Chu Junshan, made the disclosure at a herbal medicine strategic meeting put together by the Nigerian Youth Congress in Abuja. Elizabeth Omori reports.
Health Organization's Traditional Medicine Strategy 2014 to 2023 targets, which aims to promote safe and effective use of traditional and contemporary medicine, is yielding positive results. This is because Nigeria is cashing in on the benefits of herbal practices to healthcare.
That the herbal product, when effectively supported and encouraged for mass cultivations and productions for national and international consumption, will generate a lot of economic value to the GDP of Nigeria and generate employment and empowerment opportunity for the youths of this country.
Critical actors in herbal medicine practices are of the opinion that research and integration of practitioners into the nation's health system will help meet the World Health Organization's targets before 2023.
I think that it's time for the two countries to think about, can they generate, operate the Chinese, Nigeria, and Nigeria traditional herbal medicine in China?
They say harnessing herbal products for export is another avenue for wealth generation for the nation. The meeting also featured an exhibition of herbal products. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
And away from health matters now, Nigeria and the United Nations are working closely to achieve cleaner energy transition to meet up the net zero target by 2060. Special representative of the UN Secretary General for Sustainable Energy for All, Damilola Ogunboyi, and Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jeffrey Onyama, held talks on the benefits of the Renewable Energy Plan. Usman Aliyu reports.
Nigerians had been hoping for a reliable, affordable and stable power for homes and industrial use, especially with abundant resources waiting to be tapped. Proponents of the new global agenda put the perspective of the challenge side by side. Nigeria's large and growing economy, which can be sustained with the change to safer energy alternatives, this meeting notes. The federal government's plan to float a flagship program expected to provide for 25 million people decentralized solar energy solutions was highlighted to prove Nigeria's readiness for the clean energy transition plan.
And, there's a lot of progress that the country is making, especially in the framework of our national determined contributions towards net zero emissions.
There are three key things we need to do first. Alleviate 100 million people out of energy poverty, industrialize as well, like the scale of other emerging economies and developing economies, and try as much as possible to do our own transition, which is really getting out of diesel and petrol generation now.
It is expected that this engagement will open platforms for implementation of the energy transition strategy. Usman Aliyu, NTA News.
Some youths in Asaba, the Delta State capital, are undergoing a 3-day skills acquisition training in hair braiding and styling. Lush Hair Academy, in collaboration with Nation Builders College of Technology, has taken the initiative to help the young ones at no cost. Tessie Coker covered the exercise.
The 3 days free workshop in professional braiding and bridal styling is to enable youth around the region benefit from the life-transforming opportunity. This is Abjan Amaka, a hairstylist who hungers for excellence in the field of hairdressing. He says the training will expand his client base.
Well, I got the information about the Luscious program through a friend. Then I now went to the internet and confirmed it fully before I now became a registered through the online.
For Jennifer Ugoke and John, it is a life-changing experience.
I like it when I see people making hair. I have to go to salon to make my hair. So I was like wondering, it would be nice if I learned something like this too.
A lot of them are just there on the street, not doing anything. So when Lush called and said they want to do such a thing in Asaba, oh, I was so moved.
For the initiators, the participants should be diligent and professional.
If you're already a hairstylist, you can upgrade your plan, you need to know what is trending.
For the brand, the most important thing is women. The most important thing for the brand is women, and we want all of you to be, to feel beautiful.
Lush haven't
seeing what they've seen their precedents over the years and what they've been doing, we try to bring them down to train our unemployed youths or even adults who are not even youth but they are unemployed.
Lush Hair Academy is open to receive entries from individuals who are learning hair braiding and styling from basics and for those who intend to sharpen their skills. In Asaba, Tessie Coca, NTA News.
And from Asaba, we head to Lagos, where Adiola is standing by to feed us with more news. Adiola, it's over to you.
Thank you, Iere. For the second day running, there have been long queues at fuel service stations in Lagos State as residents embark on frantic search for petrol. Adeniyi Taiwo reports that the scarcity has also worsened traffic gridlock in some parts of the metropolis.
What started early Monday morning and which got many Lagosians hoping that it would just be a flash in the pan is actually turning into a nightmare, as many of them are now forced to, queue for long hours at fuel station in order for them to get the product. Within Obalende, Victoria Island and Ikoyi axis, there are only few filling stations that I saw dispensing petrol.
We are queuing for fuel and I've been on the line for almost 2 hours now.
Almost 2 hours?
Yes.
So are they selling? At what price are they selling?
They are selling. I don't even know at what price. I've been on the road since morning. And how much work can I do now when I get to the office? I'm already getting tired.
From Ojedu to come to Alakpere. I was just driving on the road hoping that I will get, because the ones in my area are not selling.
Surveillance around Ogudu, Obalindi and Victoria Island areas of the state, however, showed that many of the service stations stopped selling the product after allegedly running out of stock.
They don't want to sell the fuel again.
Is it that they don't have to sell or they don't want to sell?
They don't want to sell.
This is despite repeated assurance from the federal government that there is adequate supply of petrol in the country.
And when you ask why this sudden scarcity, the story we have, which we read on papers, on social media, is that a mother tanker came in with a huge volume of, nobody knows, do you say it's adulterated, do you say it's off-spec, but nobody knows exactly what category of product it is.
The usual traffic gridlock in some part of the metropolis was worsened by the scarcity. In Lagos, Adeniyi Taiwo, NTA News.
Promoting tolerance and understanding can sometimes be challenging in a heterogeneous country like Nigeria. But as a people who cherish assets like arts and culture, achieving national unity has been simplified. Engino June Adams examines the role of arts and culture in building a united Nigeria.
As the most populous black nation in the world, Nigeria has diverse and rich cultural heritage. The various languages, dialects, way of dressing, dance steps, and dishes reflect the robust cultural assets of the country. These add to her beauty. Little wonder, they say, variety is the spice of life. The beauty that comes with this heterogeneity is not without some challenges, which may include difficulty in understanding the basic elements of each other's cultures and beliefs, as well as perceived frictions. Arts and culture as people's way of life play a great role in turning the multiplicity of Nigeria into unity.
Culture has been able to bring people together through festivals, through cultural shows and programs. People have been able to adapt to other people's food, adapt to other people's clothing, adapt to other people's even language.
Cultural enthusiasts believe that the country's heterogeneous nature is a good source of strength.
Intentionally, we must teach our children our language. Teach them Igbo, Hausa, Ibibio, whatever, wherever you are from.
They also advocate appreciating other people's way of life to achieve a better Nigeria.
There is no culture excluded to the other culture. All cultures are good. You need to open up your mind for you to really understand somebody from their own perspective, for them to also be able to understand your own perspective.
Cultural enthusiasts say if Nigerians uphold the saying, together we stand and divided we fall, national unity will take the lead. In Lagos, Hinginu John Adams, NTA News.
We're done from here, but don't forget that you can follow this news live on our website at nta.ng/live and on YouTube at NTA News. Online, you can also visit our Facebook page at NTA Network News, our Twitter handle at NTA News Now, and on Instagram at NTA Network for updates. It's time for us to take another break. The news will continue thereafter. Just stay with us.
Glad to have you back. Now time to have a feel of the business world with Benny Adams. Benny.
Yes, it's time to talk business. I will start by telling you that the Nigerian Export Promotion Council is set to capture export data between Nigeria and Benin Republic, aimed at formalizing the high volume of trade between the two countries. Former Nigerian ambassador to Benin Republic, Oguntuashe Kayode, is leading the collaboration.
We believe that there will be standardization of trade policy, economic policy, even security policies, including even education. There are so many schools that are in Benin Republic that are fake schools, and they are coming to Nigeria to create problems for us. So all these things can be easily harmonized if we have a permanent joint commission.
And on the energy market, oil prices eased on Tuesday ahead of resumption of indirect talks between the United States and Iran, which may revive a nuclear deal that could lead to removal of sanctions on Iranian oil sales, increasing global supplies. Brent crude was last $1.78 at $90.91 per barrel after hitting a 7-year high of $94 on Monday. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude was down $1.72 at $89.60 per barrel. And on the capital market, investors lost 78.75 billion naira as all share index declined by 0.31%. Sell pressure persists as equities market closed at 47,057.24 basis points. 238.2 million shares worth 5.08 billion naira were traded in 4,862 deals. Equity capitalization declined to 25.3 trillion naira. Guarantee Trust Holding Company PLC, Zenith and Fidelity Banks dominated the activity chart. That is business news. Network news continues with Rigachukwu.
Investment by federal government on promoting indigenous technology is taking center stage, with more young Nigerians producing state-of-the-art equipment. Umar Ajingi reports.
Idris Muhammad, 27-year-old graduate of biological science, serving as NYSC member at Kaduna Polytechnic Center for Research and Innovation, manufactured this electrically propelled motorcycle. It does not need fuel to move. Instead, it's battery-powered and covers a range of 40 kilometers, thus curtailing gas emission dangerous to environment.
The combustion engine, makes a lot of pollution, right? So as a biologist, I tried, okay, let me try to solve, how do I solve this problem? So that's when I started thinking of electric vehicles.
Similarly, a 3D printer and customized casing of electrical and electronic projects, including this first Nigerian ventilator produced by these young minds between the ages of 20 to 30. Stakeholders have the view that the way forward for Nigeria is investing on vocational skills to stop incessant importation of goods the country has the capacity to produce for export and domestic consumption.
In the Polytechnic, we are practically oriented. We are going to produce prototypes that can really make impact on the national economy, that will stop importation of all these gadgets. We can make it in Nigeria.
In addition to creating wealth and providing jobs, the nation's economy achieves positive growth, the stakeholders say.
This is an evidence that more innovations are possible from Nigeria when we are supported.
I could not resist an invitation to join a smooth ride on the electric cycle. This electric motorcycle has a top speed of 50 km/h and it can cover a range of 40 km just on a single charge. In Kaduna, Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
Quite interesting there. Katsina Area Command of the Nigeria Customs Service has intercepted smuggled items with duty paid value of about 7 million naira. Acting controller of the command, Dalha Wadachedi, while displaying the contraband to newsmen, said the seizure was made within the month of January this year. Shewadamu reports.
As smugglers devise means of sabotaging the nation's economy, so do the operatives of the Nigeria Customs Service re-strategize to suppress the trend to protect the local economy for sustainable development. Those were the words of the acting controller of the Katsina Area Command of the Nigeria Customs Service, Dalha Wadachedi, while displaying contraband intercepted within Katsina axis. Among the smuggled items seized include 629 bags of foreign rice of 50 kilograms each, 110 jerry cans of vegetable oil of 25 liters each, 16 cartons of tomato paste, and 79 cartons of macaroni. Other intercepted contraband are 96 cartons of milky creamer, 8 bales of new blankets, 50 bales of second-hand clothing, as well as 388 jerry cans of premium motor spirit of 25 liters each, which were disposed in accordance with the let-down procedures.
Please desist from these smuggling activities. Therefore, come forward. We are ready to give you out. That is, we have so many things to tell you, to show you, to explain to you. We are talking about the government incentives.
Controller Dalha Wadachedi also said the command seized 10 vehicles either smuggled into the country or served as means of conveyance. He therefore appealed for the continued understanding of the border communities in the fight against smuggling in all ramifications. In Katsina, Shehu Adamu, NTA News.
And with that report, Inyere in Abuja will continue with the rest of the stories after the break.
Welcome back. 25,000 rice farmers are participating in the 2021-2022 dry season farming in Gombe State under the federal government CBN Anchor Borers project. Abbas Mekano reports that women received special recognition for their previous performance.
It is not coincident that farmers in Gombe State excel in rice production among the states of the Federation, with over 140,000 metric tons presented by the state recently in Abuja Rice Pyramids exhibition. The farmers' hard work, determination and commitment, coupled with the intervention of the CBN Anchor Borers program of the federal government, put Gombe State ahead of its contemporaries in rice production. In yet another ceremony to flag off 2021-2022 dry season farming impulse disbursement, 25,000 farmers have been earmarked to benefit from the program.
Gambian mutinies, we are all happy. Gombe is the best, we are leading. We have submitted 104,020 metric tons of paddy rice.
Women received over 1,000 slots as a result of their excellent performance in the previous program.
If a woman farm, the family will not be hungry. Those living around will not be hungry.
If you see me before, I was not like this, but because of this program and the project, I was able to have some piece of land.
There are widows among them, there are single mothers, you understand, and there are some that are even married who want to participate in agriculture. For those of them that have single mothers and widows who don't have anything to do, this is going to provide a lot of livelihood for them.
With the coming of this president, boosting farming activities have been a policy thrust, and we appreciate these efforts. Highlights of the ceremony include presentation of awards of recognition to distinguished personalities. In Gombe, Abbas Mekano, NTA News.
Now time for a bit of sports with Gift George as our guide.
Ahead of the Super Falcons Africa Women Championship qualifiers against the Lady Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire in Abuja, head coach of the team, Randy Waldrum, says he expects his foreign-based strikers to replicate their goal-scoring form for their club sides in the national women team to ensure victory for the Super Falcons in the African Women Championship qualifiers.
We want her producing and scoring goals, but at the end of the day, if she's playing well,
in the position that we're asking her, and we as a team are scoring goals. That's what counts in the end.
The Nigerian Football Federation on Monday announced the reconstitution of the technical crew of the Super Eagles, with Augustine Eguavon staying as interim technical advisor, while former Flying Eagles coach Emmanuel Amunike drafted as immediate assistant to Eguavon and chief coach of the Super Eagles. Salisu Yusuf will be second assistant coach and coach of the Chan team, and Yobo third assistant, while Aloyago remains as goalkeeper trainer. To European football, England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland have agreed to bid to co-host the Euro 2028 Football Championship and also to drop their aims of hosting the 2030 FIFA World Cup. This will provide the first ever hosting right for Wales, Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland. The 5 football associations have come to a collective decision after what they called an extensive feasibility study. Finally, on the World Club Cup, Chelsea will face Al Hilal on Wednesday in the semi-finals of the World Club Cup competition. The Saudi Arabian club sides trashed Abu Dhabi team Al Jazeera 6-1 on Sunday, with Super Eagles striker Odion Igalo amongst the goal scorers on his debut. European Champions League and Super Cup winners Chelsea joined the competition at the last 4 stage. Al Hilal qualified for the World Club competition after winning the Asian Football Confederation's trophy. Chelsea will be hoping to win the competition for the very first time as it commences its campaign with the semi-final clash against Odion Igalo's Al Hilal on Wednesday. Chelsea had to make the trip to Abu Dhabi without its manager Thomas Tuchel, who tested positive for COVID-19 on Saturday. With sports update, Gifts George, NTA News.
And that concludes NTA Network News tonight. Many thanks for watching. Please be a great star and stand against rape and rapists. I'm Ian Ray John. Have a good night.